Now, to show you the things about life. My friend Kathy, who becomes pregnant, the one who brought me to Canada, with nothing to do with me, moves into this garage that has an apartment. I go visit Kathy, and who owns the house, who's living there? Helen, the woman in South America with the thing. These two become friends, close enough where she allows Kathy to move into her, on her land, has her baby at the house. So these two people separately get together, who I'm close with both of them. I find that fascinating, right? The serendipitous part of life. So now, within the year, Kathy gets cancer. She's taking morphine and drugs for her condition. And her husband, who worked at a rehab center, who was an addict, but now works there, he's not addicted, starts using her drugs again, and he becomes addicted again. I go to visit, and he says to me, Ken, I need to, could you watch the baby? The baby's name was Julian. And he said, could you watch the baby? I need to go and pawn the wedding rings that we had made for each other. I need the money. And I said to him, you can't pawn these rings. I said, it's the only thing that this baby might have of Kathy. I said, it's wrong. He said, I need the money. I said, how much did you pay for those rings? And he tells me. And I had the cash in my pocket. At that time, you didn't use credit cards. You carried cash. And I bought the rings off of him. And I said, someday I'm going to return these rings to your baby, to Julian. He said, yeah, okay. Well, I lost track of him. He moved away, him and the baby. And I would, as the years went by, I'd ask, do you know if his name was Rocco? I said, anybody know Rocco, where he lives? No, nobody. And so years go by. Now, okay, to give you an idea, this was 1980s when this happened. 32 years later, I go online and I put Kathy Callahan's name in it. And somebody who was an artist, a craftsperson, who knew her and who had bought a piece of her work, has a little blog and is writing about her friendship with this woman and how she had a baby and then had cancer and died. And it has one of those little boxes where you can email the person. I said, hi, my name is Ken Rose. They used to call me the Sandman, and I've been looking for Julian, and I can't find him, but I have something of his I'd like to give back. And within a half hour, she gets me, writes back. I know where he is. And he goes by Giuliano now, which was his birth name, which I wasn't aware of. And I email him and I say, look, I think I've got something of yours, and I've got artwork of your mother's, and maybe you'd like to have it. And he contacts me, and this is during COVID, And I say, I'll send it to you. And then I think about it and say, no, no, I don't want to send it to you. I want to bring it to you. So if it's all right with you, I'd like to hold it. And he's living in New Brunswick, St. John, New Brunswick. And when COVID opens up, my son lives in Halifax, right? So Kizzy, and I go and to him, and we have the most beautiful meeting. And I tell him how his mother changed my life, and I present him with these beautiful rings. I tell him they've never been on anybody's hand. They have your parents' DNA. His father had died. His brother had committed suicide. He had not a great life. And he has a baby. Maybe she was 2 years old or so, and a wife. They live in this, very simple house, but with a lot of problems and stuff in terms of the construction. And I renewed this friendship, and I try to help him out. And he started asking me for money. I was giving it to him because I thought to myself, if I was the one who died, and Kathy was trying to help my son, if he needed help, would she do it? And I knew she would. So I started giving him money and trying to help him, talking to him like a father, maybe. And then at one point, I would give him money and, for a car that broke down. I'll put a used part in. No, the used part, I need a new part. The cops, they towed my vehicle. Oh, it's going to cost this much. And I got suspicious. And at the time, I had a limited amount of money coming in each month. I had money invested, but I'd have to go into investments to get more money because he was asking for money. I told him, this is stressful. And once I told him that, he never contacted me again. I tried to get a hold of him and he wouldn't. And then finally, I saw that him and his wife were on Facebook from a religious group that helps people who have drug problems. And they were sort of the poster boy, showing them how happy they are and stuff. And so then I realized he was on drugs. And then the next thing I know, he passed away. He died. I still don't know why he died, whether it was a drug overdose or something else. I believe it was a drug overdose. But the ending, the tragic ending, sort of fit his tragic life. It sort of made sense to me. Anyway, here I am in Canada.